Hi there, registered dietitian nutritionist Bonnie Newlin, and I am coming to you with a little bit of information about milk. So we all know a little bit about milk, but I find that people get really confused when they're buying milk about what the different milks are, because people always refer to whole milk as vitamin D milk, when in fact whole milk, 2% milk, and skim milk all have 10% of the recommended daily allowance of vitamin D. So they're actually all enriched with vitamin D in them. So they're all, in essence, a vitamin D milk. The difference lies in the level of saturated fat in each milk, which is a fat that we know that is tied to higher levels of LDL or bad cholesterol. So when we look at a whole milk, for instance, 1 cup of whole milk has on this label 8 grams of fat. And when we look just under that at the saturated fat, 1 cup has 5 grams of saturated fat. When you look at 2% milk, it's going to have almost, maybe just over half of what whole milk offers in terms of saturated fat. So 1 cup has 5 grams of fat, and the saturated fat is 3 grams. So the whole milk has 5 grams of saturated fat, the 2% has 3 grams of saturated fat, and then the 1% has 2.5 grams of whole fat, total fat, and the saturated fat is only 1.5. Skim milk would have no fat, no saturated fat. So that's kind of the difference. I don't have any skim milk here, but if I did, it would be under the 1%. So for somebody that has high cholesterol, they would want to go with a milk that has less saturated fat, preferably a 1% or maybe even the skim milk if you like skim milk, because the whole milk does have more saturated fat, and that can increase your LDL cholesterol levels. Okay, so now that we got the saturation part under control, let's talk about other nutrients that they provide. So I like to use dairy as a source of protein, especially for folks suffering from things like diabetes. But a lot of times it's an easy source of protein, right? You can have a glass of milk, you can have a yogurt, cottage cheese, a little string cheese, something like that. So when you're having whole milk or 2% or 1% or skim milk, you get about 8 to 9 grams of protein per 1 cup serving for cow's milk. For soy milk, you get about 6 grams of protein per 1 cup serving. And for alternative milks like almond milk, coconut milk, oat milk, flax milk, any of these other plant-based milks, they don't provide the same amount of protein. They're great and you're certainly welcome to use them. I just want you to know that they're not protein heavy. These have about 2 to 3 grams of protein per 1 cup compared to 9 grams of protein for a cup of cow's milk and 6 grams of protein for soy milk. So I hope that helps you make some better choices when you get to the grocery store, and I hope it gives you some information that you can use. I'll see you next time. Bye.